It's a short track, and it's an extra short track.
Yeah.
Nothing one that small that we've raced on with a full size car. So our typical short tracks are a half mile. I believe that one was a quarter, maybe. So it was definitely tiny, but the racing was great. I mean, in the environment, I am telling you, was absolutely incredible.
What's going on, guys? This is Brian Jones from popculture.com. And joining me today is one of NASCAR's biggest stars, Joey Logano. Joey, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's happening?
Not too much, man. Thank you so much again for doing this. So I wanted to start off with this first. Obviously, the NASCAR Cup Series playoff starts this weekend in Darlington. How are you and your team feeling heading into the playoffs?
We're feeling great.
Yeah.
I honestly feel probably better going into this year's playoffs than I have had in quite some time. I feel like if you look at the last 5 or 6 races, we scored 40 more points than the next closest points getter. So I look at that momentum that we're carrying into the playoffs, way this team is executing races right now. It makes you pretty excited about what's on the horizon for us. So we just got to keep that going, right? You can't, Roger always says you can't trip on your press clippings either. So we got to keep looking at the windshield and trying to, find more speed and other great races and, get ourselves through each round.
And speaking of the run that you've had, that's led to you being in second place in the standings by regular season champion Chase Elliott. So what do you think has been the biggest key for you and your team's success this season?
I think there's been a few things, right? Because this year's just been different than the other gen car. Right? I mean, the next gen car has really changed up the game a lot, and you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to take the bumps and bruises along the way, because it hasn't gone as smooth as possible. And when I look at our record of this year of top 10s, top 5s, and things like that, I wouldn't say that that's second in points type of record in the past, right? That's wouldn't do that. That means everybody's going through the same challenges. No one can find consistency.
Right.
So, knowing those things and still able to be second in points and really being able to actually find consistency the last 5 or 6 weeks, that's what it's going to take to get through the playoffs. And really what I feel sets us apart a little bit.
Absolutely. And with the playoffs starting this weekend in Darlington, this is obviously a track that you're familiar with. It's a place where you won earlier this year. So how confident are you that you can win there again?
Very. You've done it once before. When you've done it once, you know you can do it again.
Absolutely.
But things change too as well, right? I think things are going to be different when we get there. Track temp is one thing that's definitely going to be different. The cars have evolved a lot, even though it wasn't that long ago, still a lot of things have changed. And like we talked about earlier with the next gen car, the learning curve has been so quick. And, so what we ran there last time probably would not be good enough to win again. So we have to be willing to, step outside a little bit of our comfort zone and keep looking for gains.
And along with Darlington, when you're talking about the round of 16, you guys will be in Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol. Of those 3 tracks, which one presents the biggest challenge, or are all three very challenging in their own way?
Every race, at this level, this is level, man. Everybody is really, really good. My competitors are great. The pickers are good. The teams themselves are strong, especially when you get in the playoffs. Everyone's, giving it all they got. The track doesn't really matter a whole bunch, right? It's going to present its own challenges no matter what, right? It's just going to be a little bit different. The different types of racing, different styles of racing when you get to these tracks is different, but it's going to be just as hard at any track. Name one, any of them, it will be the next. It's just going to be a little different way of going about it.
Absolutely. And a lot of this will be featured in the new unscripted series with NASCAR and USA Network called Race for the Championship. I actually got a chance to watch the first 2 episodes, and your feature actually featured a lot in the first episode, where you guys are competing in the clash at the LA Coliseum. And it talks about a lot about the next gen cars and the challenge that it presents. But how was the overall experience of being documented for a race for the championship?
It's actually pretty neat. When I look at that that series, it has the opportunity to really impact our sport. And it's something that's been missing in our sport, being quite honest. You've seen, Drive for Survive be a great success for F1. And I think this is kind of taking that and bringing it to the way they followed us, they were there, they're hanging out with you. And I can't say that I changed who I was because there's a camera there, right? I mean, you still had to prepare for races. You still caught the emotions at the racetrack. Those things are in the show, and it's cool that it follows everybody. I'm just as interested in watching as the race fan is, because I kind of want to know what my competitors are like too, away from the racetrack. Right? We all know each other as racers and competitors, but not in every form, right? Usually when you get home, you're a different person, or at least I hope you are. You're in a competitive environment. So I'm interested to watch it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And this might be an obvious question, but would you do it again next season if the opportunity came up?
Yeah, I think the first thing we do is let's wait and see how successful it is. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Just like you, I watched the first episode. You got to watch the second one. You're special, but
oh yeah,
first one, and it was highly entertaining, very entertaining. I thought it was edited really well. I thought it was very real, and I thought that was something really, really good about it. Right? If it's fake, it's not going to last. But I think if it's real, people will want to watch it.
And going back to that first episode, it shows you winning the class. And it was actually an interesting event because it was done at the LA Coliseum, known for different events other than racing, specifically football. So it was a short track you guys were competing on. Do you like competing on short tracks?
That's a short track, and it's an extra short track.
Yeah.
There's not been one that small that we've raced on with a full-size car. So our typical short tracks are a half mile. I believe that one was a quarter maybe. So it was definitely tiny. But the racing was great. I mean, in the environment, I am telling you, was absolutely incredible. I don't know if you were there, but it was just bonkers. I got to watch one of the last chance races, from the grandstands. And anytime there was a pass or there was some kind of action on the racetrack, the place would just light up, and you can hear the people over the race cars, which is saying something. These race cars are loud, and you can hear everybody and screaming and yelling. And then when we won the race, and how that environment was afterwards, I think they said 70% of the people there was their first race, or somewhere around there. Don't quote me on that, but close to that number.
Yeah,
was around there, and that says a lot. We really went to the race fans, right? We went to the city and raced in front of them, like a football stadium would be, right? And that's what we raced in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it seemed like it was fun event. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but yeah, I definitely want to try to make it out to one of those here soon. But when you look back at your season, or just the 2022 season, what would you say would be your favorite moment?
Yeah, it's hard for me not to say the Clash. I know we were just talking.
Yeah, right.
I feel like, it being the first next gen race, winning that one, you take a little extra pride in something like that. It being the first time on a track like that, a little extra pride. And really, honestly, that week was a very special one, even after we won the race.
Right.
Moment and celebrated the birth of our first daughter. And that was, something that was really special, obviously. So when you go for, it was the coolest 48-hour window ever, right? You win the race, you go home.
Yeah.
New baby, right all in the same week. I mean, you can't replicate that ever again, right? That'll never happen again. So it was a really special week for us, for sure.
It was very special for you guys. And the last question for me before I let you go is, you've accomplished a lot in your NASCAR career. You won the Cup Series in 2018. You won the Daytona 500. You won your share of races. So what other things would you like to accomplish in your NASCAR career?
More.
Absolutely.
I'm far from complacent. I can tell you that much. I'm not that type of person. It's all about winning whatever's ahead of me. And I don't really care if that's in racing or in business, whatever it may be. I just want to win. I want to be the best at it. And that's kind of what's driven me to get this far and drives me into the future. So you just want to keep going. If there's a trophy ahead, we better go try to grab it.
No doubt about that. Well, Joey, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the playoffs this year. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. I know NASCAR fans are going to really enjoy this experience. So thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Good luck to you in the playoffs and continued success to you.